What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Girl Dadding. It's a podcast between two girls and their awesome dad. And we want to welcome you guys back for another great episode. And we can't wait for you guys to see what we have in store.
Yeah, so Kiyani, this just you and me this time, and we're going to talk about dating and your dating and where things are with your social life in that regard. There's a big part of me that is incredulous we are having this conversation for public consumption. Um, but got through it with your sister, so want to make sure you get equal time and equal due. So yeah, this will not be boring, I'm certain.
All right, y'all.
Yeah, let's yap. So, dating, how difficult is it? Let's let's get right to the nitty-gritty. What's dating like as a teenager in this day and age for you? What are you going through? How are you handling that landscape of life?
Oh man. Dating now is definitely it's a struggle. It's because for my generation especially, people aren't really looking to have like relationships that you would find in earlier generations as far as dating goes. Um, so sorry for like what I'm about to say if this like, it's jarring anyway, but my generation is very much into hookup culture. Like it's not a whole thing behind, oh, well, I think you're cute and oh, let me take you on a date and oh, like I really think that like my parents would love you, that and the other. But it's not like that at all. I know more people that have people that are in relationship roles but are not in relationships than I know with relationships. Um, for me, it's hard because that's what I would like. I would like an actual relationship. Of course, there are guys that think I'm cute. I obviously think guys are cute, so I mean, like that's natural and that's normal. But as far as like being in a committed, like full blown relationship, it's not the easiest thing to find.
Yeah, and I have mixed feelings and opinions about whether you at this age should be in a committed relationship. I mean, I understand what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
I had one of those,
Mm-hmm.
so I fully understand what you have in mind and appreciate, your desire for that.
Mm-hmm.
There much can and should be said for one-on-one long-term relationships, whatever that means for teenagers. Obviously, I would caution you against setting your heart to that at this stage of your life because I mean you've got so many years, if the good Lord above agrees, to live. So you're not really missing anything in the long run. But I hear your frustration. I
Mm-hmm.
hear your angst. um, and I wish I had a magic wand that would erase all of that for you and spare you of it. But that being said, with the mindset of teenagers today, as you said, with that hookup culture, first, let me say, I am so grateful you are not falling prey to that. I am very gladdened by your resolve to stay above that, to not succumb to that. And I applaud you and encourage you to keep that up, to keep that standard of your own personal morality as high as you do, because if you give in one aspect, you give yourself leeway and permission to give in to a different aspect that may have consequences that aren't as favorable as you would like them to be. So stick to your guns. But within that, so how do teenagers, how do you navigate those waters? How do you figure out a course for you to chart in order to get to be boyfriend, girlfriend, or to share or to express what you're looking for in some 16, 17-year-old boy?
I Okay. As far as like how I go about it, I try to be as clear as I can be, but like you were kind of talking about, I shouldn't set my eyes on like having a full term committed relationship. And I've kind of recognized that, especially now being a junior in high school. Like me having a long-term committed relationship, I'm gonna be honest, for me should have happened end of freshman, early sophomore year, because now I'm at a point now where it's like I have a year left. We're both going to be going possibly to two completely different places. I know that I don't want to move away with in a relationship. I know that's just not what I want. That may change, but that's just not for me. So now, so it's just really like hanging out with guys, you know, catching the vibe or whatever. But if it came into it, when it has come down to it, I'm very clear on what I will stand for, what I won't. And I'm very clear on it in the sense that like I emphasize the morals and the integrity and the values from myself from my family. And I know what my family is and is going to accept. Like I tell people all the time, like if I'm taking you to meet my parents, especially like you, like my dad, like you got to be top shelf because my dad's not going to take anything less, and I'm not bringing you to my house and we making dinner and you suck. Like you know, it's not happening. So I know for myself that like if I'm talking to a guy and like he's like the hottest thing walking or whatever, but like his attitude toward adults suck, I know I'm not bringing you home to my parents. You're still cute though, but you're not going to home to my parents. So I think that's what I've done for myself, and I think I put myself in a good position to where I can allow certain things, but I also know when enough is enough, and I know that I'm not going to bring crap home to my parents. So I think that's kind of how I try my own waters, just kind of seeing like, okay, yeah, you're cool to me and I like hanging with you, but like, are my people gonna like you? If my people don't like you, then it's just not gonna work.
Yeah, and as I'm sure I've told your sister, and I'm glad you all have discerned high standards
Mm-hmm.
for the young men you invite or want to invite to share a part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gratified to hear that because you give me confirmation of the effectiveness of the values your mom and I have instilled in you. I'm glad you all are not putting up with knuckleheads. I'm glad you all are not tolerating that kind of foolishness because you greatly decrease your chances of having of getting yourselves hurt in that regard, both physically and emotionally. And so I'm glad you all have seen that, have received that lesson, that value system from me.
I wanna speak on that, and I agree. I think as you and mom have definitely instilled great values, and in the example you all set with your marriage is one of those. Um, I have quite a few friends who can't say that they have parents that are married, that don't live in the same house. And so I'm grateful to God and thankful that you two are still married, still together, and you all, the love has not faltered. But in that same light, it's hard because a lot of guys in my age range, they not trying to do all of that. So
And
because
that's okay.
that's perfectly fine. I mean, of course. I mean, because I feel like, I mean, just because what y'all want to do, and I don't want to do that. That's okay. But it definitely makes it harder because it's not that like you're not. I say to myself a lot. It's not that I'm not the best girl, or I have like. I mean, and also like I might not be that specific person's type, and that's okay. But it's like it's not because you're not cute. It's because they're like you're not trying to do that. So I will say that's one of the things that I've come across. It's not because, oh, I'm not cute or I'm not funny, I'm not this, I'm not that. It's I know she's not trying to just do whatever and then we kick rocks, which is true. So I will say there's two sides to the coin with that. Like, yes, I love that I have morals and values and respect myself, like yeehaw. But also that significantly limits the amount of people I can go for and have something with. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. And one of the unfortunate realities you deal with as a young Black woman, if you prefer to date Black men, you already have a small pool
Yeah.
of potential candidates.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you as you get higher in education, as you get higher in your own social standing, as you get higher in the working world, your pool is going to shrink proportionately. And
Mm-hmm.
so, we know from our own experience, young Black males are an endangered species. A lot of them are not in school. A lot of them are not working. A lot of them are not being the most productive citizens in their communities. Um, and so you've got those who are caught up in the criminal system, the criminal justice system. So there are so many eligible Black bachelorettes and not many eligible Black bachelors.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's one girl, excuse me, one guy for every 10 girls, it seems like. So whereas for you all, there's a recession for young Black men, the romantic economy is
Possibilities are
booming.
endless. Listen,
Right, right.
yes.
So yeah, I don't envy where you are, but I applaud you at this early stage in your life for having that value system. And listen, very easy for me to give you this encouragement. You are still young, where you don't have to make that decision. I don't believe at this stage of your life you hear your biological clock ticking. I don't believe at this stage in your life you feel any pressure to hurry up and find someone so you can get married. I don't believe where you are in your life you have those expectations that are hovering your head. But I'm glad you are aware. So as you prepare for your final year of school here and then going off to college, at least that's on your radar. And you've already, Kiyani, demonstrated an awareness, and you've also seen, you've given yourself a preview of what's going to happen. And because you have given yourself that preview, you have a better opportunity for handling it with the kind of class and sophistication that you owe yourself. And so I am impressed by that. I wish you didn't have to go through it, but I feel good about your decision-making capacity, where you will not put yourself in a position where you're going to fail or regret what you've done.
Thank you. Yeah, I try. It's hard, but I do try. I would definitely say though, it does get it gets easier in the sense that it's like once you come to terms with understanding that like, well, what's around you is not what you want, and you learn to be comfortable in it. I will say it does get easier. Like for example, like I have junior prom this year and I don't have a date. For a while, well, I should say for a while, for most of the proms that I've been to, they've always had a date. But the way I've always thought of the date is kind of just like they're the accessory to the girl. So like I've never been pressed about having a date. I would like to, have a guy to experience the night with, but I mean, I've never been pressed about like me matching my dress to his tie and his socks, and oh my goodness, is his mom gonna like this color? Like I've never been too pressed about that. I'm very much an extra person by myself, so like I like moments that are more so all about me. So I've never been, too like, oh my goodness, like I need a date. Now next year is a different story. That's my last prom, so I'm gonna have to find a date. But that's we're gonna worry about today. Um, but yeah, I've grown to be comfortable with it. I have, and quite a few of my friends aren't going with dates, so it won't be awkward for me. But I like to say like I definitely have gotten comfortable, and I'm still getting more comfortable in the fact that I might not, have a boyfriend anytime soon. But I can live with that.
Tell me why having, to use your words, tell me what the importance is for you at this stage of having a boyfriend. And I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a boyfriend. Again, when I was your age, I had a steady girlfriend when I was in high school. But articulate for me the importance of that social status for you.
Um, I guess just in a way it's romanticized, the way that high school romances are romanticized. As you would know, growing up with Kanaya in very close proximity and doing a lot of things that Kanaya would do, a lot of the shows that I used to watch were because my sister was watching them. And that is, I enjoyed them, but it's just because, she's the older sister. And of course, when we're kids, whoever gets the remote first gets to bitch what we watch on TV. Fortunate for the both of us, I liked what she was watching, so it wasn't too much. You know what I'm saying? But Kanaya was watching High School Musical and iCarly and Zoe 101, and the girls in those shows, they had steady guys or boyfriends or people that, thought they were cute all the time and, stuff like that. So just in the way that high school romances were romanticized. There's a Netflix series called To All the Boys, and it follows the life of a girl who doesn't have a steady relationship or doesn't have a boyfriend and has a bunch of crushes and is writing letters. And eventually some guy reaches out, and to sum it all up, they begin to have like a real romance and do all this cutesy stuff. So, I mean, stuff like that, I just want to be able to experience. So I don't know if I should really say it's the relationship I want. I think it's, more for the activities and the cute stuff. Like, I can get by without arguing with a dude because something he said hurt my feelings and he don't know that it's, you're not supposed to say that type of stuff. I can deal without that. But I would love to go on a picnic, or I would love to go to lunch, or I would love to go to a dance together. Or now that I drive, we meet up somewhere and hang out. I drive you, you drive me. Just stuff like that is kind of what I would want to experience and why I kind of want a boyfriend. Another thing is a lot of my friends, I shouldn't say a lot of my friends, but most of my friends have people that they're talking to, or, it may not be the same person like from now and a week from now, but it's just the presence of a guy in their lives to do certain stuff for them that I think is so cute. So I guess, really the stuff that other people would see that like I would want to experience, and that's what it is as far as like the social status goes for me. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So as you look forward to going to school, going to college, do you think the priority of being in that kind of one-on-one steady relationship will change compared to where it is now? Will it increase? Will you have a greater sense of urgency, or do you anticipate yourself, not having as much of a zeal for it?
I'm anticipating it decreasing, honestly. I feel like once I get to school and on campus and I experience like my first like gathering or like party, I'm like, oh, okay, like man, it'll change some things in my mind. It may increase as I get later in schooling, just because when you're coming out of school, now your life is starting. And so now you have to really be focused on, okay, we're not dating and going picnics. I'm dating to figure out if I'm trying to marry you, start my life with you, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Granted that time period changes for different people. Like I might graduate college and be like, I don't want to settle down until I'm 27. And, from 21 to 27, I'm, doing things that interest me. But I think once I get out of high school and I stop seeing the cutesy relationships everywhere, it'll definitely change. Now, granted, like I may get to college and I may meet somebody and it's like, man, you're really the stuff. And he thinks the same. And we're just really the stuff together. So it might change, but I don't anticipate me getting into a relationship that soon into college. And I definitely do think that the need for it is going to decrease.
How has your sister's experience, how have you used that to go through what you're going through in this stage of your life? Your talks with her, things she shared about how she has dealt with young men. How have you used that to your benefit?
I will definitely say that one of the major things I have learned from Kanaya is that you're not stupid, even, and like dudes may try to act like that you are stupid or do certain things to make you think you stupid, but trust me, you're not stupid. And I will say, as far as like Kanaya's experiences, I've definitely learned from them, but I also try to apply them to my life and maybe in another light, just because me and her are completely different people. Kanaya is more so of a person. Kanaya really takes no bull, like nothing, like zilch. Me, I could take a little joke, I could do a little something here and there, it might be funny. Like, I might have to give you that one. Like, okay, you kind of ate that. But that's where I differ from Kanaya. So, but I will say that she, in our differences, she has offered me so much wisdom and so much light that I feel like even though we are 4 years apart, it still applies. And even though we are 4 years apart, like I said, she's still willing to help. So like whenever I have boy issues, can I tell Kanaya? Granted, Kanaya may be like, okay, well, I don't know why you still entertaining, because that was like crazy. But it's like, listen, we gotta let the people live. Like, come on. So I will say that's where we probably have like the most headbutting. But other than that, I will say Kanaya is a powerhouse of a woman. And I hope that as I get older, I can truly embody that. And like as I grow into my note-taking bull era, I can be just half the woman that Kanaya is, especially in like the dating realm. I really look up to her for that.
You will be, and you will be equal to her in a different lane.
Mm.
Again, both of you, you describe her as a powerhouse. Believe you me, you are a great mountain of a woman yourself. And so both of you are going to do um, tremendously splendid things as you progress through it into your adult years. One of the things that I've tried to, pardon me, demonstrate, you know, my marriage by no means is perfect. And you know, people who know your mom and me joke about, the special place God has in heaven for her because of her choosing me and choosing to stay with me. And I've come to realize she truly is a remarkable human being. And by no means would I be where I am without her. She is without question just a jewel of a woman. Um, I have learned so much about being a man and being a husband, obviously, from her. Um, and I want to be sure you and your sister have seen how your mother and I relate to each other,
Mm-hmm.
how I relate to her in particular, and how I want to be a servant for her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and again, I'm glad to hear, you recognize that as a standard for you to hold young men accountable to, who may want to come into your life. Again, to our audience, thank you for this time. We'll see you next week on the next episode of Girl Dadding.
Bye. Thank you guys so much for listening.